How you doing? I've been here all along.
Okay. Right.
Sorry, my computer's going to be a bit slow today, so...
At least you've got a computer, Dave. Tell him what he's won.
Well, you've won a week away. A week away at Benidorm.
Oh no!
Yeah, I trade that in.
No, you can't.
This is like spreading democracy by force again, isn't it? You will enjoy yourself, or else.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go to Spain, but not Benidorm.
Are you a civilian or are you a
Citizen.
no? Are you a citizen or a civilian? Hey.
I haven't
Just
taken
seems like
mine.
semantics, really. I don't know.
If I remember from Starship Troopers, or at least the book it was based on, the difference between a civilian and a citizen was that a citizen had gone through military training and therefore had earned their societal privilege. Because the whole idea of the book was the whole of society was based on war veterans who'd had enough of diplomats fouling everything up, and so they made. I think there was like an American coup. Is the story, and the military veterans took over the government, and that's why everything's so militaristic.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've not watched Starship Troopers or played Hector, but I know it's meant to be like mega fascist.
Yeah, and I think I had an audiobook of the short story that was originally based on as well, so that was weird. Anyway, we're not here for that. Although, book club, sci-fi club, interesting enough in its own way. Okay, so, Connie, you snuck in like a ninja there. You can hear us?
Yep, I can. Can you hear
Excellent.
me? Lovely.
She may be short, but she's deadly. She can be anywhere. In fact, she's probably behind me.
Oh.
Nope. Lost her. Anyway.
Oh.
Right then. Okie dokie. So, Liz is...
Did someone log in
with
as...
us.
I don't think I did. I'm gonna just double check that.
Yeah, just logging in now.
Yep, if folks can make sure they're actually connected. That would be
Chris
swell.
P. Let me in.
Matt.
I'm in. I'm in, and I am me.
I am
Yeah.
definitely me.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I was trying to log in, and it's like I couldn't.
Is that the I am me thing? Is that from Rush Hour 3?
I've not seen Rush Hour 3. No, I've seen the first two. No, that was a Chris Powell original. Believe it or not.
You can only get it here,
I like
folks.
Chris Power. Woohoo.
When I
Matt.
tried to go in, it did have Liz's available, so you should be able to log in.
But yeah, I can see Liz now. She's...
Yeah, at first it didn't say I could.
yeah, I heard you.
There you go, Matt.
It's Mark. He has no faith in you. I wouldn't take that if I were you.
They are the people I'm asking, by the way.
What?
Okay.
Nanny?
I like how you've
Yeah, I didn't know how to
Dr.
spell it.
Soot.
Dr. Soot.
So that's Dr. Soot's, evil twin brother, the one who's, black rather than blue.
Just the
Kind
mirror
of grey.
universe.
Yeah.
Has a job sweeping chimney.
I don't know if I spelled Flesk right either.
Well, okay. There's an S in Flesk. I'm fairly certain. So that's fine. That's fine. It's like that scene.
I'm sorry. It's just me, my dyslexic. I
That's
can't even
fine,
say
it's
the word.
fine. I know who you mean. I'm just busting your balls. It's fine. It's like that scene out of Blackadder's Christmas Carol when nice Mr. Ebenezer Blackadder gets a Christmas card from his flunky Mr. Baldrick, and he says, "No, I'm sorry, Mr. Baldrick. There's a H in Christmas, and an R, and an I, and an S, and a T, and an M, and an A, and another S. Oh look, and you've also missed out the C at the beginning. There we are. Anyways, let's get this show on the road. So everyone seems to be connected in now. We had a bit of a connectivity hiccup, I think, but we all seem to be in now, and folks can see stuff. Those who want to be joining me in the Sirenscape Audio Lounge can hear it if they're already connected. If they want to and they're not connected, please do so now to make sure that you are getting the tinkly tinkly.
Yep, it works.
Excellent. I will give folks who are signing in to Sirenscape just a couple more seconds just to make sure.
Yeah, I didn't press start again. So,
Yes, I wasn't going to name names, but thanks for speaking up. Mark, sign in. There we are. Press the button. Okay, groovy. I am just going to momentarily stop the ship rumble. And stop the plinky plunky tinkly tinkly. Those are actual musical terminology I'm using there. I hope you're all very impressed. And I'll be moving us on to the intro video, so we'll be back in a couple of seconds, folks. Don't go anywhere. No, seriously, don't go anywhere. Including you. I see you moving away. Hello folks, and welcome back to the further adventures of the USS Combs. I'm MJ the GM, and I will be your games master for the next 3 hours or so. Let's introduce you to the rest of the gang, because we have the whole crew here. Say hello, folks. Hello, folks. That's exactly how they sound, by the way.
Hi.
There we are. Cool and the gang. Yes, welcome, welcome. Well, first of all, thanks have to go, as per usual, to Webby for having the extreme patience of creating that intro video out of Star Trek Bridge Commander. And also for Kevin MacLeod for giving us use of The Rule as the theme tune to the intro video. Thank you both very much indeed. But thanks to the crew for all coming along today so that we can have more Star Trek shenanigans.
Yeah.
And this is particularly mentionable because this is episode 15, which means we are on the very last episode of season 1 of Star Trek Combs.
Oh,
I have it under good authority that Paramount have actually given us budget for a season 2, so we will be coming back. Woohoo!
yeah!
Maybe even budget enough to change the opening credits on the intro video so that we can actually promote Lieutenant Commander Flesk.
Yeah!
Yes, pouring out for Lower Decks and Discovery.
Indeed. As usual, before we start things off, we're going to do more of our usual plugs. Mr. Powell, off you go.
Hello! You'll never guess what. The video's not out. I'm still doing my... I'm still carrying on with my retro review YouTube channel. Still trucking along with the Yakuza 0 review. I've sort of kicked the writing into overdrive. I think I'm over halfway there at this point with the script. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be longer than Final Fantasy 9 easily. It'll be like an hour and a half, I think. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going with the flow. But yes, I'm aiming to get it out towards the start of next month. Maybe. We'll see how it goes.
Excellent.
But in the meantime, just
Enjoy the vids
I've
he's
got a
already
few
got,
things.
folks.
Thank you.
Mr. Powell's done, so Mr. Bell, moving on to you.
Okay, yep. In addition to Solarity and Midwinter, the 6th episode of Midwinter is now out. There's another one I'm in called Legends of Campion Genesis Era, which I have hopefully a recurring part in that as the Goblin Bartender Scritch.
Yes.
But the new episode is out now, where I have not one but 2 voice roles in.
Ooh. Excuse me.
And yes, I will leave it at that because
NDAs are a pain.
well, no, well,
I know.
not NDAs, but I don't want to ruin anything.
That's fine. I was just teasing.
So I'm playing a hunter and the renegade leader in this one.
Nice. Okay then. Thank you both.
Keep your ears open.
Righty ho then. Anybody else got anything they would like to plug? Oh, hello. We've just had Hopkins turn up. Do I up con or security to 5 with a major milestone? Well, this is the next thing we're going to be looking at, isn't it? It's going to be milestones and acclaim. Now, Mark has already posted me milestones and acclaim spends for Flesk. So now would be the time for folks to consider what they want to do, of course. The priority mainly being acclaim, because they are a mission by mission or episode by episode basis. But of course, as Liz rightly points out, the major milestones, the big ones, the ones where you earn every 6th episode, the big ones, the major character arc is completed, and therefore those are the big changes you can make, which I do believe Lieutenant Garrow was also due a major. Yes, indeed. So, Chris, Mr. Bell,
Okay.
you have got a big milestone that you can spend if you really, really want to.
We were having a chat about this last night, weren't we?
I do believe you were.
Yes. Unfortunately, thanks to my slightly semi-inebriated state, I
Semi?
forgot what we were talking about.
I mean,
Smashed, mate.
I can tell you the logic and the sensible things you can do, like increasing the attributes increases your chance of success with rolls. But the reason I did that wasn't because of that mechanic, even though that's the result. I did it to try and even out my numbers to make it look neater. But there is the secondary effect that increases a slight increase in your chance of success, which is why it's pretty good. But my main motivator is...
Plus we were thinking about upgrading fields or something, weren't we?
Oh, no. So this is... once everyone's done theirs, I've got medium milestones to spend on the ship. But I'll wait for everyone else to do their characters.
So, yes.
And the robot's just gone. 2 seconds.
The robot's just gone?
Oh, it's the vacuum.
Right.
And it, you
the
can probably hear it.
Roombas.
There we go. Send it back.
Okay, remind me again how much claim I need to up my favor with
Go on.
no. What I need to get the captain's favor, because I don't have that.
You don't have the captain's favor yet. Whereas...
No, I have everyone else's.
Captain Sobek's not sure how he feels about this. I mean, he's a Vulcan, so he doesn't outwardly show anything, but he may be a bit... Oh. I'm a last choice, am I?
I got Admiral Hebert twice.
Yes.
Another Admiral. Joan
So we know who you were
Wolf,
kissing up to.
Picard, and the Chancellor.
So, if we're using the alternative reputation and stuff like that, which we are, gaining favor with an NPC who commands a starship, but is in Starfleet tends to be a 2. Cost of 2 acclaim if you want to go that way.
Cool. Okay.
If you do. And I'm presuming that's what you actually want to do.
Yeah, let's finally get Captain Sobek favor.
Well, it kind of makes a good degree of sense. For the time being, Hopkins isn't exactly been a troublemaker, but she's been, concealing weapons on her person when asked not to. So this represents the time she's taken to, get back in the captain's good graces. And it's a case of, well, you did ask me not to bring bladed weapons, and then we happened upon a world with armored slugs, and you regretted that decision instantaneously, didn't you? Let's not forget the little 6-armed rats. So,
Which she currently has as a pet.
She currently has one as a pet, yes, so... There we are, then. Favor with Captain Sobek. That's cost you 2, which leaves you with 1, so if you wanted to, you could gift that 1 to somebody else if you thought they did a particularly good job last time, or, just let it expire. I don't think there are any awards that actually cost 1. Well, there you go, favor gained.
Can we... For anyone who's got leftover acclaim, well, we'll see when we get to it, but if at the end we find out we have leftover acclaim, maybe we can bank it to have another supporting character have the Legion of Honor, so...
Ooh,
Nice
interesting
idea.
thought.
I mean, my first thought would have been Turin, but rest in peace, or wherever she is.
She didn't die on screen, so
Exactly. You didn't see the body, therefore you don't know for sure.
Exactly.
First rule, didn't see it, didn't happen.
Yeah.
Ain't that the case with Star Wars? We never see them die, they never did.
Exactly. I think that's TV or movies in general, really, isn't it? And if you're going on... Actually, no, let me stop that tangent before I go any further with that, because I was about to apply comic book logic to stuff there, and I want to rein that back before I go down that particular tangent. So, I mean, Liz, your question, do you up con or security to 5? Well, that's entirely your choice. I mean, security obviously has the obvious connotations of making you that much better in combat again, but you do like to fly the Guicha, so having con up to 5 is also useful in that regard.
I know, I really wish I had 2 major milestones, because then I don't know, up both of them to 5.
Well, you can do that by holding on to your major milestone until you get to episode 12, your 12th episode, so, unless this has been your 12th episode. Let me just quickly check.
Yeah, I had
you
my
are
first
on your
one
12th
too.
episode, so yes, you'd have to wait till your 18th, pardon me. I can count. I hope you're all very impressed. But, yes.
Let's go with security, just because of...
There's some Klingon diplomacy.
Oh, definitely. It's funny, my disciplines are 5, 4, 1, 1, 1, 5.
So, pretty much what we expect. There we go. 5, in and done. Nice.
I have no science, medicine, or engineering.
Well, that's not strictly true. You do have science, medicine, and engineering. You've just prioritized them as lower. Essentially, every Starfleet officer is trained to a certain degree in every possible department, but then, of course, as their career goes on, they choose to focus more, and sometimes, like, for instance, when you complete an episode and you get a minor milestone, you might think that, for the moment, your priorities on certain things change a little bit, and therefore your focus switches a little bit. So that's the nice thing I like about the milestone system, because it allows you to change your mind back again afterwards just by spending another milestone point. So, excuse me. But for the moment, that is Hopkins's major milestone spend, which is upping security to 5, which is the maximum for a discipline. So that's cool. That's done. Which brings us back to Mr. Bell and Lieutenant Garrow. So, any thoughts on what you want to do? Unless, of course, you don't want to up Garrow. You think Garrow is just as hunky and awesome as he should be. And you can potentially up either a supporting character or the ship.
I think I might up engineer. Well, let's see. I got 3 on engineering and science, but I got 4 on medicine. Or I might take a look at one of his attributes here.
Any folks here have a preference they think he should go for? Something that we don't have at the moment? Something that we've seen that needs improving, possibly? Any thoughts?
Tavish and I have got 5 in engineering. I think Sot's got a lot.
Sot is the medicine.
Yeah.
My security's at max.
Yep.
You can increase attributes. That also contributes to rolls.
So yeah, I can go for any of daring, insight, presence, and reason. Then again, if I'm supposed to be, if I'm security, presence would be a good one.
Yeah. Persuading people that, you know, this is not a drill and they need to move faster than they are, kind of thing, or trying to de-escalate a situation from going into violence. Yep, presence, all useful things for it.
The sort of, do you really want to go down this road?
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna up presence by 1 to 10.
All right. So we are spending your second major milestone.
Yep.
We are upping. You can now up your presence by 1. So, Mark, you'll like this. He's got 10-9, 10-9, 10-9 now.
There we go.
He has achieved harmony. Nice. Right, back to those acclaim points then, folks. Anybody got any awards they think they want to take? Any more Legion of Honors they want to buy?
We can't afford the Legion of Honor, can we? It's cost of 4.
I'm okay for now, I think.
What?
Unless you want to put it with the spare 1 with Hopkins.
Oh yeah, it's 4. Good point.
Yeah, I've only got 3. I've got 3 acclaim left, so I think I'll probably leave it at that. I think.
10, 8, 8, 11, 11, 8. Mark, don't look.
I was thinking of going for a promotion.
Ooh. Putting in for a promotion, that sounds like 3 acclaim.
Yeah, and I've got exactly 3 acclaim to be used.
What am I looking at? Tavish. Gurkow has got reputation 5, so you've got the maximum required reputation to look for a promotion. So yeah, definitely put yourself forward for promotion.
Nice. Yes. Other than that, I would like to digress back to milestones, and I would like to use a minor milestone to, what was it? Oh, change one of my values.
Aha.
Specifically from pushing the boundaries to, perfectionism, shall we say. Everything must be perfect.
Ooh. All of a sudden we're becoming a perfectionist. I say all of a sudden. I always got the impression that Gurkha was very precise, but now it's becoming an obsessional level of precision.
Precise fisticuffs.
Well, the precise.
Isn't that what Kung Fu is?
Well, quite. Right. So what are we doing here? We are looking at milestones rather than millstones. We don't need millstones. So, if a value was challenged and crossed out, you can rewrite it. Was a value challenged, or are we just looking to change a value? We're just looking to change a value. So, you may as well use the minor milestone to do that. Because if you
That's
think
what I'll
that
do
one of your values does not fit the bill anymore, then yeah, you may as well reevaluate it and get rid of it. Change it for a new one.
Yes, that is what I shall do.
Was there anyone in particular you were looking to get rid of?
Pushing the boundaries. I think it's sort of just there for now. So I've pushed the boundaries, we'll say, and I just want to make it even more perfect.
So we're looking at a value now of what? Perfectionism. Or do you want to word it a little differently? Because this
so
is
like
an intrinsic value to her, so
trying again until it's perfect.
okay.
Yep. I mean, it's not a pretty phrase, but I think
It does speak to it. It's a case of repetition until it gets to where we want it to be.
yes.
Yeah.
Repetition. So,
Fruvunctious.
cute.
Alright, and we're also putting in for a promotion which costs the 3 acclaim, so there we are. Oof.
Actually, if I got that as well. Can I try and...
Oh, blimey, they're all doing it.
Yeah.
More power, more privilege.
Just to check, Matt, I've in my character
Sorry.
notes it says I've still got 1 major milestone. I'm guessing that's not correct.
Let's have a look at you.
I've just changed it because I've spent it.
Yes.
Because otherwise I'll spend it. Yeah, I don't want to.
Well, I've got how many you've accrued and which ones you've used. So.
Yeah, I should have only accrued 1, right?
Yep, you've only accrued 1 and you've spent it, so there it is. It's in your notes. It's all fine.
Cool.
Actually, don't put 0, otherwise I won't remember that you've got one. So if you notice, it says episodes 11 in your character notes. That's how many episodes you've taken part in, and that's the total number of different milestones that you've accrued so far. Underneath, it shows how many of those you've actually spent.
Oh, okay. So I can't spend it yet, but I will do.
You have spent it. We have spent it. We've done it. It's just my note keeping. Otherwise, I'll forget that you've earned that many.
Gotcha.
It's mostly for my own benefit, so that I know exactly how many you've accrued to make sure that the episode count matches how many I think you should have, or how I know you should have.
Gotcha.
Because it's on an episode-by-episode basis, and I can only do maths up to a certain level, so I need visual representations to help me keep it straight. So that's what that is. Yeah, it's in the list of used ones, so you have spent it. It does apply. You're all good. And thanks for bringing attention to it.
Cool.
Anybody else? So Garrow is looking for a promotion as well. Well, you know what? This is near the end of Season 1. Who knows? When we enter Season 2, there may be additional pips to go around. And that means that whoever does the opening credits on the next intro video will have to toggle them all. So best get them out of the way now, I suppose. Would Tavish put in for a promotion as well?
No. I'm going to try and get a favour with the best surgeon on Neandra, on the
Narendra Station.
Neandra
Okay.
Nation, yes, best surgeon, and then put that in the list. I sent you.
Attach it to the list. Okay, fine. Let's have a look. Narendra Station. If I remember correctly, the one in charge of medical on Narendra Station would be Commander Naraya.
Have I already got Naraya?
Let's have a look. Tavish. Webby Tavish. There be Tavish. Right. So, 2 with Sobek, 1 with Admiral Hebert's assistant, Dr. Taliaferro. You've got the Chief Engineer of Narendra Station, but not the Chief Medical Officer of Narendra Station.
Let's do the medical officer then, yeah.
CMO of Narendra Station. There we are. She is remarkably different to Dr. Sot. As you can imagine, a Klingon medic is actually quite tough. And she doesn't take complaint from anybody. And is just as likely to re-injure somebody as she is to fix them up. But yeah, I mean, you've got enough experience. Tavish has got enough experience with Klingons now. In fact, most of you do. That you know how to strike up friendships with these guys pretty easily. I mean, Tavish has got that rough exterior kind of thing going on. So when she's at least on the job in engineering, so
yeah.
Naraya's not that different.
But yes, Naraya is on the list to help.
On the list to help. Okie dokie. Alright then, so before we get to that, last call for claims is... Mr. Powell, you said you are fine at the moment. You don't think there's anything you need to add?
Yeah, I'm good for now, thanks.
So that just leaves... well, nobody, in fact, so...
Did we want to spend that
like...
leftover a claim to give someone Legion of Honor?
I don't think we've got any leftover.
Well,
Hopkins just spend.
Hopkins had one left over, and someone had 3.
That's a good point. Sot's got 3. Pardon me. So you've got enough there to...
Aaron is.
Yeah.
So what I'm...
You could actually buy...
Who are you giving this Legion of Honor to?
Well, let's look at the bridge. Let's go to the bridge and see who we've got. So we did give Councillor Sachs Legion of Honor, just to make sure she wasn't quite as rubbish. Have we given Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang? No, you haven't given your Chief Helm Officer a Legion of Honor yet.
Yeah, let's do that. Or maybe one of the newer guys.
Or maybe one of the newer guys.
Who was the one with good targeting?
Your new tactical officer is Klingon Lieutenant Krelkossa Dawn. So
yeah, she had a precision salvo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's it going to be? Is it going to be your helm officer or your tactical officer?
My vote's for the tactical.
What does everybody else
Same.
think?
Yeah, let's go for the tactical.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Spending leftover to give Legion of Honor to, excuse me, Lieutenant Dawn. Neato.
And then I have medium Malspit don't suspend once we've done everything else.
Well, let's get to that then. That was a chuckle. I'm not sure I like the chuckle.
Probably because I'm sharing my screen and you can see what I'm looking at.
Aha!
Upgrades to the ship.
Right then, so if you're using a medium, you can choose 2 of the ship's systems, rather, swap 1 for 1. Or choose one of do the same with the ship's discipline, swap 1 for 1.
Can you not swap the talents? Because we can't add one, because it's full.
Oh, Rectamundo. Let's have a look-see. That's a good point. It doesn't say about swapping talents, replacing one talent with another, doing the same for a supporting character. You can replace one of the ship's talents with another. Yes, it says that.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure everyone in the crew was okay with this, because we have improved warp drive, which gives us a chance to recover power. I was going to suggest we switch that to secondary actors, because that's a permanent increase
power
of
up.
5.
Yes.
Which is a 46% increase in power. And
So,
if everyone's okay with that, I will spend a medium milestone on that.
So what does everybody think?
You know it.
More power?
As the chief engineer, I do have some questions.
Go for it.
Is this going to make our ship awesome?
Yes, and you'll know with the next thing I'm about to do.
Okay, then I totally agree on this. Yeah.
So improved warp drive is being taken away and installed instead with secondary reactors, which does whoosh, up goes the power by 5.
And then the second one, because I've checked with Dr. Sot, and he's okay with this, because I've got that medical droid for him now, which he's going to have. And obviously we want to put the EMH's personality, and most importantly, accent into the droid. Because we want that accent. Replacing the EMH with advanced shields, which is another boost of 5, a 46% increase to shields.
Right.
As chief engineer on board the Combs, I do have a question. Is this going to make us tanky?
It's going to make us tanky, much tankier.
I approve. Yeah.
Which is when I come to the next one. Now I've run out of mediums, so I could just wait till my next medium.
I've got medium.
I just want to point out we currently have improved hull integrity, which is a resistance of 1 increase. We are able to spend that medium to replace that with ablative armor, which will be.
I was wondering when you get to that.
Yeah, 2 resistance. So we're doubling the resistance as well as increasing shields and power by 46%.
I think I've got a medium. I think I've got medium 1.
Let's have a Google. It was right there. Why did I close it? You do not have any mediums left, no.
Oh, okay.
Let's
I'm sorry.
see who might. Hopkins has spent all her mediums.
I believe I do.
Dr. Sot does have 2 mediums.
Yeah, I'll chuck a medium in there.
Ooh.
I do have a question as the chief engineer on the Combs. Sorry. Is this going to make us a lot more sleeker?
Are we slimming down?
It's going to make us look very fancy.
Oh, well, then I approve.
And we don't have space to put anything additional in there, and I don't know what options we have for weapons. But, you know, when we get more mediums or other milestones...
I wouldn't worry too much about weapons.
No, I wasn't thinking about our weapons. I was thinking about the Guicha, because we now have our anvil, which is the Combs. We could have a fast attack ship in the Guicha, hammer and anvil.
Interesting.
I've got a plan for my next science project.
As
Yikes.
do I.
Well, what we've essentially done to the Combs, sorry to interrupt you there, Dave, is we've taken out its original improved shields and engines, and we've basically bolstered it with improved shields, improved power, thicker armor. We've turned her into a bit of a beast.
It's not an attack craft.
No, it's
but
not.
It can certainly withstand a bit more punishment.
Exactamundo.
Which is still a peaceful thing. Like, that's not an aggressive posture. It's still exploratory. We can still, because you might be not necessarily encountering combat. It might be encountering, I don't know, asteroids or some stuff. We can withstand the horrors of the galaxy a bit better.
The
Guicha's going to be the aggressive one. The Guicha's going to be the attack craft.
Hey. It's not going to be the attack craft, it's more going to be the ramming.
Ramming speed! We're going to have to put like a bulldozer nose to the prow now. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Can we put like a big bulldozer in the shape of a triangle on the front of the Guicha? So
it has rugged design for a reason, so it's easier to repair.
Some kind of inverted tractor beam.
Well, this kind of was a discussion that, of course, didn't occur to me because I was just watching it at the time. But of course, they show it in like the second episode, I think, of Discovery, season 1, the Klingon ramming ship. And of course, someone was very clever to point out that's not how space works, guys. So, yeah, a ramming ship doesn't ram the same way as if you had gravity, sadly. Otherwise, you just nudge it.
That's what the tractor beam's for. Hold it in place while you smash into it.
Pull it onto you, so you then basically you're pulling somebody onto you to headbutt them. So, yeah. Boop. But we'll get to that another time. Right, okay.
That was my plan for the ship.
Maybe we could add some torpedoes to the Grisha.
Well, wouldn't be the most possible thing.
There's like a ship talent that allows you to add advanced. There you go. Is it electronic warfare systems? No.
Electronic warfare systems would be more infiltration of the enemy's, somebody else's computer systems and making it all go screwy. Whereas we're probably looking for... I know which one you mean, actually. There is another one. For adding an additional weapon system.
Expanded munitions.
That was
there you go. You could add any one weapon profile.
Ooh. We don't need that warfare thing anymore. Well, we won't need it. Well, we're not going to need it at all.
No.
We're going to have a Tavish soon with something else.
Yeah. Steady. Okay, cool. But yes, that's something you can consider, but the Grisha already has its maximum number of talents, so if you did want to give it expanded munitions, you'd have to replace either advanced shields, secondary reactors, or rugged design. And that kind of flies contrary to Liz's current plan, it seems, with the Grisha, which is to make it able to take a beating with shields, at least, able to do things with its power, and still able to be repaired when it inevitably rams into something because, giggles. But there are ways and means, we'll see what we can't consider, but that's a project for the future for now. That could possibly be a new scientific experiment for you. That could be something you work on in the downtime, is adding another weapon system to the Grisha. With all the usual rules for a scientific experiment. Which brings us neatly on to our science experiments. So, last time we had finally finished that cybernetic implant that Tavish was working on in order to have an artificial intelligence program pretty much inloaded to her brain. So that's reached its conclusion. And, yes, but I'm going to quickly divert attention away for a moment because we also finished the other science experiment with Flesk's bioscanner, turning it into a first aid drone to do field fixes on folks. And we had reached the end of our investigative pathway and found the right one at last, and we had finally finished constructing it. And this kind of ties in nicely with what's happened with the combs, because in making these changes to the combs, you've essentially put into space dock somewhere and had some of its core systems pulled out and new ones put in. Naturally, the ablative armor being the most prevalent one, because you're essentially changing the entire outer hull of your Intrepid class vessel and making it now entirely composed of ablative armor, which is thicker but operates in an entirely different way to regular geranium, which is what most Starfleet ships have their outer hull made out of. So this means that the ship has essentially been put into dry dock for changes to be made to its systems, fundamentally. Giving it the extra reactors, so that means, the engineering staff have had to be working with the space dock folks to make room to install these new extra reactors to generate all this more power attached to the warp core. So a lot of changes have definitely been going on. At the same time, of course, Flesk was finally building his new little mini companion and was busy offloading all of these programs, mostly medical programs, into the little device so that it has its own medical database with which to be able to base all its what's the word I'm looking on? Diagnoses. At the same kind of time, over in the sick bay, where Flesk is downloading the medical database, Dr. Sott has to break the news to the EMH that we don't need you anymore, guy, and so goodbye. So the EMH, of course, is protesting.
I mean, he's going to a better place, right? He's just being downloaded onto this drone, was my understanding.
Yeah, we want to keep the accent and the personality and the cheekiness on the droid, because the droid
he's being granted freedom.
So the EMH is in fact elated. Excellent! I get to actually roam the ship for a change. And
EMD.
So,
it's like the
emergency
Tuvix
medical
of
drone.
the
Yeah.
code.
Yeah,
God.
emergency medical drone. Yeah.
So,
And it's very
go
much not mine anymore. That's
everybody's.
Sott's. Oh, everybody's, but Sott's. It's Sott's baby.
It's Sott's
Thank you.
baby, but what we will do is we will now add that as a trait to the Combs. Emergency medical drone.
Oh man.
So, like with most traits, this is something that can provide you with a positive, can also provide you with negatives.
Oh god.
Oh man. Hopkins is not enjoying the medical drone.
Well,
Much cheekiness.
the medical drone, when finally activates and the little anti-grav impeller turns up, this iris kind of opens up in the front of the drone and it projects this wireframe of a humanoid that then finally gets filled in, and sure enough, there's EMH, the doctor. Please state the nature of the medical emergency. And he looks around with obvious glee on his face. Look, I can move around as he moves backwards and forwards, and the drone is moving as it's projecting him. I can pick things up. Picks up an instrument. And I can, and somebody issues the command word quickly to turn him off before he gets too annoying.
And one of the younger members of Flesk's family has put some googly eyes on the droid.
His second eldest son, maybe. Who's still like only 9 or something, you know. I say his second eldest son by his first wife. Still working on the second wife's one. Next. Denobulans, what can I say? Big families. Yes, so we now have the emergency medical drone, who now spends most of its time floating about the ship, having a good old look at things. Basically annoying everybody as they're trying to refit all the new stuff to the Combs. Hello, I have not met you before. And, you know, basically making a nuisance of himself. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, of course, Lieutenant Tavish asks to be excused as there's a major medical procedure that she now needs to undergo as she takes a ship back to Earth. Pardon me. In order to have a very, very special procedure taking place. Now, apparently, according to Dave, we are asking for Dr. Taliaferro, who is there to assist with integrating the AI program that was found on the planet with the kind of ferro-arachnid creature. Dr. Hater is with the Starfleet Research and Development. So has been Tavish's main contact in Starfleet R&D in regards to whether or not this kind of thing is possible. So Tavish has been liaising with Dr. Hater in order to get things ready for this. So Dr. Hater has been, outside of Tavish's efforts herself, the main medical consult. But we also have requested, well, obviously Tavish's father, Dr. Sott, if he accepts, and Flesk to be present for the assistance with the installation of this new cybernetic piece. So, I'm not going to ask for rolls.
Oh.
Unless you really, really want to.
No. I'll
because this is the culmination of your research project, and you have, as far as I'm concerned, you've already made all the rolls, and you've had people that you've interacted with. So this is an accepted success because you put in the time and effort in order to run the simulations, run the numbers, make prototypes, and check that they work. And now it's a case of all that work has now come to the point
get all
where,
the favour.
Yeah. You've put in all the work, you've brought in all the people you needed to consult, and now it's a case of actually doing the thing. So it's very much an implied success. But of course, on the day, Tavish's father, Adrian, is there, and before the procedure in the pre-op room, he's there pacing back and forth. Do you have a good picture in your head, Dave, of what Adrian Tavish looks like?
I don't know. Good hair on his head. Probably like graying a lot now. A good like trimmed beard as well. Again, more grey than colour.
So we're talking a very patrician-looking fellow with like salt and pepper beard and grey wings on his head, kind of thing going.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Very fatherly. So he's standing next to Lily as she's getting the pre-op done. Flesk is there admiring the cleanliness of things. Dr. Sott is, if he agrees to help with this procedure, is probably just going through the finer details of it with this Dr. Hayter. Did I say Hayter? I did, Dr. Hayter. Dr. Hayter is a Zindi primate. So for those who don't remember what a Zindi primate looks like, I am going to give my guys here a link. So not Hater, but Hayta. Zindi primates, so on the Zindi planet they had more than one indigenous species, but the Zindi primates were more like humans in that they evolved from primates. So there's a picture for you for those who wonder what the Zindi primates look like. Hate her, barely even know her, thank you. So, Dr. Hayter, of course, is going through the procedure with Dr. Sott, so he knows, and of course, Dr. Tavish himself is there going, now we're here, love, are you absolutely certain you want to go through with this?
Yeah.
Because I have to say, your mother's on her way. She couldn't get the first shuttle to get here, so she'll be here when it's over, which I think you probably did this on purpose, to be honest, because otherwise she'd try and talk you out of it, but...
Yeah, she would. Look, it's going to be fine, Dad. Nothing to worry about. Done all the maths, I've done everything else. And hopefully this will help. This innovation will help, other people, not just me. I'm my own guinea pig. If this works, then Starfleet can use it. Also, it's going to help with my application to, Starfleet R&D when, I've had enough of being on the ship.
Well, forgive me for saying so, honey, but, when I applied for Starfleet R&D, I didn't have to plug a robot into my head. I just showed them my credentials.
That is true.
And I really would like to trust you, but, there was that the last time you asked me to trust you was the incident when you were 7 with the anti-grav impeller.
Yeah, but that technically was not my fault.
No,
I did
technically that was
not.
the power grid's fault, and you forgot to actually put a transformer between the impeller and the actual power source, which I note, ripped right out of the wall.
Yeah. But I do have a really good excuse for that, which is I was 7.
Yeah.
Who's notably uncomfortable, but knows better than to question Tavish.
All right. Well, I can see I can't talk you out of this any more than I could talk your mother out of accepting the fact that this is going to happen. So, between the two of you, I'm going to get more grey hairs out of this, but...
We'd be fine. Plus, you know, Mum gets to see her granddaughter. So, you know, it's all good.
And she'll try and use that as ammunition against you, don't forget.
I know.
Anyways, it looks like this Dr. Hatar wants to have a word.
Okay. I'll see you in a bit now.
Yeah, I'll be in the observation balcony with everybody else.
Okay.
Good luck, honey.
Thanks, Dad.
So, with Dr. Sott by her side, Dr. Hatar of Starfleet Research R&D Starfleet R&D, pardon me, goes through the procedure, essentially saying that since Tavish wants this to be an augment to problem solving, this device is going to be attached to the left hemisphere of Tavish's brain, because that's what controls logical thinking. So, as a result, the implant will be installed in the left hemisphere, attached to the left hemisphere of Tavish's brain.
Okay.
You also have a visiting doctor from the Daystrom Institute of Cybernetics. Dr. Curtis Des Moines has decided to tag along to this, because he definitely wants to see how this comes out. So you've attracted the attention of someone from the Daystrom Institute, no less.
Nice.
But just as Tavish is about to go under, there becomes a notice over the announcement board. Dr. Adrian Tavish, please report to Shuttle Bay 1. Repeat, Dr. Adrian Tavish to Shuttle Bay 1. Your wife, Dr. Hilary Tavish, is demanding entrance immediately. Please come to Shuttle Bay 1 to offer authorization, please, before we need to call security. Repeat, this is requesting for Dr. Adrian Tavish, please, as fast as you can. And that's when Tavish hears her father going, "Oh, bloody hell," and runs off quickly.
Dr. Hater, I think we should get on with this procedure sooner rather than later.
Stood. So, we're moving on. So the procedure happens. Tavish is put under, and the operation is assumed to be a success. And the first thing that Tavish sees when she wakes up is Dr. Hatar and Dr. Sott standing over her to bring her around. Usual questions. Lieutenant Tavish, can you see me? Do you recognize me? Can you tell me where you are, what your name is? But as this is going on, as this is going on Tavish's right eye, she starts getting a spool of data coming down, which is things like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide content of the air, and Tavish's own ambient body temperature, that kind of thing. All this information is now starting to spool past in a rapid screed, and it's then that we get in your head only, I hasten to note.
Okay.
Heuristic program Nihil active.
Hello?
Before you get to have a proper conversation with the voice in your head, Dr. Hatar and Dr. Sott, well, Dr. Hatar specifically addresses that Lieutenant Tavish is going to need to undergo a bit of an adjustment period, mostly because the heuristic program itself, that apparently is designated Nilil, pardon me, needs time to acclimatize to Tavish's synapses. So, as a result, it has got a base lot of code. It just now needs to understand what synapse responses from Tavish's own brain equals a certain response that it's, the program is looking for. So it needs a bit of time to get used to Tavish's way of looking at things, like this is brown, this is a cat, that's my mother coming down the corridor with a really angry look on her face, so maybe I should scarp her. That kind of thing. So the heuristic program needs time to build up these connections between Tavish's brain and its own program. So a bit of downtime is required for Tavish to get used to this this process. But as a result of this success, we now go to Tavish's character sheet and we grant Tavish the trait Nilil AI. And I'll leave it at that for the moment. Don't want to do too much. So again, that is a trait that applies to Tavish that she can use to create an advantage, but it can also be used against Tavish if I need to. So traits can be both positives and negatives, but for the time being, you count as having that, and it is, for the moment, learning. Once again, Liz, I have not forgotten you and your scientific project. That is coming, trust me, I'm on it. But woof, that's been quite a thing. So, before we go on further, Mark, you've now got something else you want to do.
Yeah, I want to build on the fact that I can create AI droids and look at building a repair droid for the ship.
Right.
Or a series of repair droids, but yeah.
And I almost forgot, actually, Connie. You were having your scientific endeavour of creating that hyperadrenal compound. So before we get any further with Mark's one, maybe we should keep on going with yours.
Yeah.
So last time we were looking at botany as a means of trying to get at it. We were almost to the end of it, so whoever you want to assist, let's take you to the bridge. Oof, a lot going on this start of this episode. We haven't even got to the episode proper yet. This is cool. So, yeah, who does Gurkha want to assist with this investigation into adrenal compounds?
So, I'm still working on the botany aspect.
You can choose to change your mind if you want to and go down another avenue. Or you can follow this to its conclusion. It's up to you.
I'm just looking at who knows what.
Sadness, I can't move, Zippy. Oh, God, probably because this game paused. Let me alleviate that for you. There we are.
That on top of Hopkins' face.
On the lap. Or, it might be one of those restless things that drapes itself over your shoulders and then climbs up your head, I don't know. Let's see, botany, well, the medical staff really have that kind of... So it's basically going to be anybody with reason and science, or reason and medicine.
Yeah,
It's mostly reason and medicine, I hasten to note.
Yeah, I'll probably employ Dr. Salt for this.
Hello.
Now, it might have to be Nurse Uro or the new emergency medical drone. Let me change his name. Because Dr. Sot is off helping with Lieutenant Tavish's operation.
Let's see.
How's this old flask?
Maybe I'll have. Okay, so the AMH is 10 and 4. Uro is 10 and 4. Maybe I'll have Uro help me with this.
Don't wanna make the EMD too excited now, do we?
No.
Need him to calm down. He needs to know his place.
There's bigger plans in store for him later, I'm sure.
Okay. Anybody else want to get in on helping with reason and medicine, or is everybody? I mean, those who are available. As we've stated, some have already moved off. I mean, Garrow has got medicine of 4. He's not bad. He's got reason of 9. And if anybody's going to know about plants that will assist with sudden adrenal boosts in combat, it might be Garrow. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have Garrow.
Yep, that one dice, yep.
1 dice, reason and medicine. Can we get Mr. P, if you could be Nurse Uro, since on your staff?
Sure. Insight and medicine.
Reason
1
and
dice.
medicine, actually, please.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry.
1 dice.
Sure.
No focus, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Garrow, it's like plants, isn't it? Nurse Uro, yes, plants. These plants. So let's see how Gurkau does.
Let's see. The reason science with my
Reason and
focus
science
in
with botany, yes.
Let's go.
Not bad at all. 3-4 successes in total, which means that you reach the end of this current line of investigation. Now, it has been very promising, but there are a few hiccups along the way, what with the plants as they are from all across the Federation database. Some of them hold very interesting keys, but it's the way that other species biologies interact differently with different chemical compounds that's the major hiccup. So even though you've learned an awful lot from which plants are the ones that you can draw upon as the ways of creating a natural adrenal booster, you at least now have a library of the chemical compounds that these plants have, which enable this, but it's the interaction with other species' biologies that's becoming the issue of not finding the perfect one yet. So with that in mind, you are still left with the question of how to do this and how to do this properly. So as well as botany, the other 2 avenues of investigation you identified were xenobiology and internal medicine. So for next time, do you have an idea of what avenue you would like to pursue?
Yeah, I think xenobiology will do that. We have it in SCADs.
You do, so it's that time was tried. So next time you know who to ask and who to bring in on the job.
Yeah.
And so now we get to Marky Mark.
Hello.
We want to create little repair droids who can float about the ship doing, well, repairs. So, as per the usual job of these scientific endeavors, you can identify between 3 and 5 different avenues of investigation. If they happen to match up with focuses that other characters have, then so much the better. You can, of course, ask other people what they think the hypothesis should be.
One of them, I want to be the ancient power source that I have. Because the idea would be, we could have the little repair droids as emergency power source for a system for a temporary period. If they can't fix it, we can just plug it in.
That's more a feature that you're going to use an existing piece of technology for. At the moment, we're looking for the avenue of investigation of creating these things. So, are we looking at? I mean, the thing that comes to my mind very, very quickly as to a avenue of investigation would be either maintenance or emergency Repair?
Definitely emergency repair. Also replication or replicator, because if it needs to make something, or use bits of itself to make something. I don't know if AI is a good one.
Well, you know.
Emergency repair, definitely. The reason why I said the power, it was actually researching the ancient power source to see how it works, so I can actually not just use it, but build it again. So it's not just a one-shot with the power source, it's actually being able to use that power source in other areas.
So technically, if you use that as an avenue of investigation, you'd be able to integrate it into the final thing. Okay. So we're looking at ancient power source as an avenue of investigation as well. So that's 3: emergency repairs, replicators, and an ancient power source. Any others you can think of?
Emergency repair, replication. We've already got the AI stuff down from the previous one. It's just downloading a new profile to it. Maybe focusing in on engineering AI rather than generic.
Okay. Engineering specific AI. Anybody else got any ideas? Nope. Okay. So, which one do you want to try first?
I want to start with the power source, the ancient power source. Which I do. Power systems, I do have focus in. I'm not going to be able to bring anyone else into this because I'm not on the ship. Am I?
Well, that's a good point. You were busy helping Tavish, but this is setting up ready for next time.
Okay.
So we know we can jump straight into it next time.
Cool.
We know where you're going to go with it. Alright, so that's what you're looking to do. I mean, it makes sense to start looking at this kind of thing now because your previous project has come to an end, and the ship is now undergoing refits of a sort, so it's now a good time to start reconsidering other systems to install. So, yeah. Okay. Grooves. Whew. So, a science task to train Zippy to be a better attacker. Well, if Liz, if you want to start your own scientific endeavor to train Zippy the Murgar.
I also totally did not put him in a fleet uniform with a little instant tip.
Oh dear lord, did you? Well, isn't that just the cutest?
Ensign Zippy.
He has to take the Starfleet entrance exam first.
There's a reason why she had favorite so backpedaling.
I see, it was to allow the Murgar on the bridge and to get him into... Well, you never know. Right. So, final word, are we actually going to do this, or are we just going to have it as a fun little thing? Or are you actually going to do this as a scientific endeavor?
Yes, train the Zippy.
Alrighty then. Are there any avenues of investigation you want to take? I mean, animal handling sounds like the most obvious one to me.
Definitely.
Go on.
So animal handling. Let's see what else.
Ooh, there was a word I was looking for. No, that comes into animal handling. I mean, xenobiology.
I wonder if xenobiology.
Yeah. We had the same thought at the same time. How about that? Xenobiology makes sense because then you know what the creature needs and can therefore accommodate its needs. You then know how smart it is as well. So by knowing its cognitive capabilities, you know how in depth you need its training to be. No problem, Chris. Can anybody else think of one more avenue of investigation for training a 6-legged rat on how to be a trained animal? Animal handling, xenobiology.
I'm tempted to say xenolinguistics.
That would work if the thing was capable of linguistic communication, but... That being said...
Teach a sign language?
That being said, Zippy does have a reason of 12. Give me a moment. Give me a stinking moment.
Teach a sign language. Teach a sign language.
Where were we? Was it we came forth to... So a Muragar, an average Muragar, does have reason 12. So these are pretty smart creatures, actually. Sign language.
So what I'm hearing is teach a sign language.
Alright then. Animal handling, xenobiology, sign language. Well, I know which one I think is the right way, so it comes down to which one you think you want to pursue.
For the sheer fun of it, let's teach the Zippy sign language.
Alrighty. Does anyone here have any knowledge of sign language? I don't think anybody does, but linguistics. Anybody with linguistic capabilities rather. So that's Hopkins. Ravalon would be the closest with xenolinguistics.
Can I have Counselor Sachs help me with the empath this?
There's that too. Okay. Let's have it. I mean, obviously, Liz, you're going to do Hopkins. Who haven't we had do a... We've had pretty much everybody do a roll, except for Dave, who can't actually roll. Let's see. Connie, you grab Councillor Sachs, and Mark, if you grab Ensign Ravalon. Now, you're trying to teach as well as do accepted sign language, so this is more going to be... This is going to be control and science, I think. Control and science? Yes, because you are trying to apply training here. That's a good point. It's training, though.
I'm guessing xenolinguistics wouldn't apply as a focus.
But, conversely, when it comes to Hopkins's role, I'm more inclined to go with presence and science, because she's the one who's going to be training the animal, whereas Councillor Sachs and Ensign Ravalon are going to be the ones offering the what sign language to teach. So, if I can get Connie and Mark to roll control and science, but presence and science for Hopkins, please. It was a 5, then it was a 15. That's cool. That's 2 successes. Connie, if you can roll for Councillor Sachs, please.
Yeah. I'm just having a look. I guess it's not exactly a social conflict.
No, not really.
It's just like it's like for guidance talents.
But she can use her empathy as a means of, and psychology as a means of trying to understand what the what Zippy is responding to or will respond to. So.
That's a problem.
Zippy.
We're teaching the Morrigar sign language.
Wow.
Okay. So, you know, Ensign Ravalon and Councillor Sachs have got basic, generic suggestions. As such, it's up to Hopkins which sign language she chooses to teach. I'm going to make an educated guess here and go Klingon. But that's your call, Liz, not mine, so...
Teach it to sign in Klingon, that'd be great.
So it's a very aggressive kind of sign language. It's a lot of fist in palm kind of... a lot of high-impact smashing fist into palm kind of stuff, but otherwise, yeah, early days, 2 successes. Let's see. probably won't take much. The Muragar is quite bright. So, you know, you're only starting out. Zippy the Muragar is looking at you guys like, what are you doing? You're waving your arms about. You're still waving your arms about. You know what, I'm going to go look for food. But there's a degree of success as you keep trying it over the course of days, weeks, whatever. You keep coming back to it, and, you know, this sign means food, so you start doing the hand signal for food and then put food down, and so the Muragar starts to get it very quickly. So it's baby steps. We're in the baby steps at the moment, the initial trying it out, but so far interesting. Whether this will be the sum totality of it remains to be seen. But that brings us to all the scientific endeavors done for now. Unless Garrow's got something he wants to come up with. A new weapon system or something.
I could try it.
Well, hell with it. We're on a science streak here, apparently. So, if there's research that Garrow wants to do into a new weapon system of some sort, then now's the time to announce it.
Go for it. Yep.
What were you? What's your thought then, Chris?
Honestly, I'm just tooling around and see what happens.
Well, why don't you stop here then, and you can just go away and have a think. Maybe consult with, you know, other Star Trek episodes to see if there's something that's like, you know, might be a good idea to try.
Building on the satellite where we had like that energy dampening weapon. Ad hoc made, because that did a lot for us.
There's that, yeah. That could be a good idea.
Yep, we'll try that one then.
That was easy.
Okay. There you go, that was a quick one.
Garrow trying to develop basically an energy dampening weapon.
I think the Breen have something like that, don't they?
Pretty much, yeah, but we don't know that yet.
Oops, sorry. We don't know that.
So
we're going to do the one we had earlier.
So players who have watched Deep Space Nine to its conclusion will know this, but the player characters at this point, that hasn't happened yet in the canon, so the Breen are still very much a mystery at this point. They haven't been encountered much. All you guys know is that they look like... I've forgotten the name of the bounty hunter that Princess Leia turns up in Return of the Jedi. Spoilers, by the way. Yes, that bounty hunter at the start of Return of the Jedi is Princess Leia. If you didn't know that before, then damn. But, okay, if we're going to develop an energy-dampening weapon, what are the avenues of investigation, the hypotheses we're going to work on? I suppose energy dampening would be the first one, but could also be, I don't know, particle weaponry would be... electromagnetics would be another one that I can think of, because they tend to be very detrimental to most modern, as in 24th century modern ship systems. So that's 3 I've just come up with off the bat, but you don't have to take my recommendations. What do you think?
Is it a complete pivot if we add onto that, stack onto that, not just dampening but absorption?
Ooh. Refill power and take theirs away. I like that.
Or is that against, you know, Federation rules as well?
No, because that's like a non-lethal attack.
Exactly. That's a good point.
Mm.
Chris, this is your scientific baby, and already the head of science is going, you know what would be really cool? If you took this energy dampening weapon and sucked the power out of them to give to us.
I've always thought, you know, listen to other people and get some ideas. So yes.
So far the focuses I've come up, well, rather the avenues of investigation are energy dampening, particle weaponry, electromagnetics. I suppose power systems now makes sense as well if you're going to be drawing from and adding to.
Yeah,
anything that anybody else can think of?
Nope.
Okay. So, Chris, are you happy with those avenues of investigation? Energy dampening, particle weaponry, electromagnetics, power systems? Any you don't like that you want to get rid of?
So far, I'm happy with those.
Okay. It's a new weapon system, so this might take a bit more work than other, like, you know, training a Murgar. Okay, so now you have to choose which avenue of investigation you want to start with.
Let's see. Let's start with the dampening.
Energy dampening. Okie dokie. Now, I will note that Garrow assisted Gurkow with her project into Super Soldier Serum, as you guys have called it. So we won't be starting Garrow's project today, but just like we did with Mark, we are preparing for when we come back next time, so we can get straight into it. But this is now Garrow's thinking. Everyone else is having their own fun times with science. Why don't I have some fun times with science? And then it's a case of he sat down, had a thought about it, and now he's thinking that this energy dampening or siphoning, I like that, energy siphon weapon. Siphon sounds better, actually.
Well, I suppose one of the other things is if we've got a full complement of power, we should be able to siphon it off elsewhere, as well as, so we're not overloading our own reactors. Or it's just, it can siphon or dampen, either or. We don't want it to, if we've got a full power bank, cause ourselves problems.
Either way, you're sucking the gasoline out of somebody's engine and choosing whether or not to add it to your own petrol tank. So, see what I did there? I interspersed both US and UK. Well, I was impressed with myself. So, yeah. Mark and Chris have both earmarked their own scientific projects, which we will get started with next time. Mr. Powell, you got any ideas, or you? Is Dr. Sott still cruising around, happy with his lot so far?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Right, blimey, that was an hour of science. Nice. Pure science, baby. That's what Starfleet's all about. Right. Any last things then before we get into the episode? No. Alright then. Cool and the gang. Alright, so we are going to go straight into the start of episode 15 here. So, let's just get straight to it. Captain's personal log, stardate 49726.2. It has now been 2 months since we lost Lieutenant Turin to the anomaly in the Madrigal system. During that time, the Coombs was granted special dispensation to search the Shackleton Expanse for anything that could point us to where our wayward crewman was taken to. Sadly, we have come up with no leads. Revisiting of the various sites of the mysterious monoliths have yielded no new data. But it seems our leeway has run out. With tensions running high between the Klingon Empire and the Federation, the Combs has been posted to patrol the border with the Klingons. Our patrol, however, has now been cut short. We've just received orders to proceed to the Mutara system with all haste, as the science outpost on Ceti Alpha V needs evacuating due to sudden increased instability in the planet's crust. So, this is where we start ourselves. So, everyone to their bridge stations as you eventually... Ooh, that's loud. Damn switch. So as soon as you enter into the system, the Ceti Alpha system, Helm Officer has to carefully maneuver towards Ceti Alpha V in order to avoid the dense asteroid field that used to be the 6th planet in the system. Such the system with a lot of planetary debris in it makes the Ceti Alpha V planet rather difficult to approach. As such, I am going to look to have our con officer. So who hasn't rolled for a while? Chris Powell. If you could be Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang for me, and Liz, could I get you to be the cones?
Cool.
Let me find the cones first, actually. So the combs is going to need to give us structure and con, 1 dice, and our helm officer is going to be doing 2 dice with control and con. This is going to be difficulty 1, but the complication range is going to be 16 to 20.
Whack.
Whack.
No focus size there in this case.
Anything to do with helm or navigation or anything like that?
Oh, navigation's on there, yeah. Top 1. Awesome.
Cool. 2 successes overall, which means you got 1 over what you needed, but there is a 17 in there, which sparks the complication.
Some kind of honor?
You better get there quickly if you're gonna. Because I'm rolling up for a complication.
Who do we give Legion honor to?
Has Zhang been
Zhang
We gave it
was
to,
reconsidered, and it was offered instead to Lieutenant Dawn, the tactical officer.
Ah, crap, no.
Well, heck.
If somebody wants to spend their own Legion of Honor.
Yeah, I'll spend mine because I've got parent figure and I wasn't assisting.
Okay.
So I'll put a tick on that.
So you're down a Legion of Honor, so...
Thanks, man.
I've only got the 1.
So let's just put a note of it that you've used it. There we are, Flesk Legion of Honor. So, yes, there's a... Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang, your helm officer, starts piloting the combs through the asteroidal field, but she obviously doesn't see a series of asteroids that are colliding with each other that set off a miniature chain reaction as a result of the combs' wake, which starts a number of asteroids from impacting off of each other, creating an even more dense shower. It's only the quick notice of Flesk by just happens to be looking at the sensor readouts at that particular time that Flesk goes left, left, left! As the combs pulls away from a collision with a large piece of rock. So that was a near miss. Nevertheless, the combs does eventually start breaking through the dense part of the debris field and starts heading more towards the less populated one. This is where I am now going to ask Liz to stay as the combs. I'm going to want Gurkow to give me a control and science as she uses sensors.
Do you want an assist?
Anybody who wants to assist with sensors, of course, is welcome too.
I will assist. I will use my persuasion to say I want to help.
Can we have Dufresne assist as well?
Dufresne can absolutely assist if you really want to. Chris?
Do we not want aversion to evade?
Because of the name.
That's evasion you're thinking of, rather than aversion. And that's probably what they keep calling him as a joke anyway, Ensign Evasion.
Oh.
It's aversion! I know, we want to wind you up. And it works every time. What am I looking for? Beatrice Dufresne, if you want her, because she has got sensors as a focus. Then let's have Chris Bell be Beatrice Dufresne, giving me control and science with a focus on sensors, only 1 dice. And Liz, as per usual, if you could be the combs, giving the sensors and science 1 dice, please. And because this is sensors, you will get extra momentum from this.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find...
Sorry, what was my role again? Science and reason.
You're doing sensors, aren't you? So it's control and science.
Okay, sorry, I'm trying to...
I'm pinging Ensign Lieutenant Dufresne now.
Sorry.
The probability of, you know, anything, or
I'll allow that because the readings you'll be getting back will point to the high probability of the readings meaning something. So this is Gurkau using her probability to extrapolate a result as rather than just saying the high probability is that if I press these buttons in sequence, then sensors will activate. No, you know how to activate sensors. Alright, so Flask has a look at sensors and is gathering data.
Okay. So Dufresne's rolling...
Control and science as well, with a focus on sensors. 1 dice for her, please.
Focus on sensors, 1 dice. Control science, go. And I am not having a good day so far.
Alright, and last... Ooh! Bing bang bong! Oh, Liz, can you be the ship for us, please?
Lovely.
Wow, Gurkau's on fire! Liz, you with us? Oh, she gone for a Dr. Pepper. Okay. Mr. Powell, if you could be the ship for us, please.
Sure thing.
Sensors and science from the combs, please.
Sure. Sorry, I was going to find the ship again. Actors... Starships. Nope.
Not starships. USS Combs and Crew is where you're looking.
Yeah, I got him. What was I doing again, sorry?
Sensors and science, please.
Sure. 1 dice, yeah?
1 dice, because the ship has yet to gain sentience.
Oh.
Parent figure.
Okay, so the rather intense sensor scanning that's going on, thanks to Gurkau's punishing of the sensor array there, does result in a slight power surge to the sensors, possibly as a result of some of the mineralogical content of some of the asteroids. But thankfully, with Flask's parent figure, you are able to compensate for the sudden power surge and siphon it off somewhere else. You have advanced sensor suites, which lowers the difficulty, and high-resolution sensors, which gets you 1 bonus momentum. You got 5 successes in total, which means full momentum bloody pool. Whoosh. So, as the Combs is maneuvering through the dense asteroid cluster, you do come across a signal. Definitely a signal, artificial in nature, not just background cosmic noise, because it's too precise, too constant. There's definitely some kind of signal going on, and with that many successes, you pinpoint the signal to be emerging from a strange structure floating in amidst the debris, the planetary debris that used to be Ceti Alpha V. When you focus in on it using your sensors, just bringing it up on screen, you notice immediately that this floating object in space, which is giving this constant message, seemingly on a loop. You're not sure what the message content is, but it's definitely a signal of some sort that just keeps repeating round and round and round. But the object is a 5-sided monolith. Very, very, if not extraordinarily similar to the other monoliths you have been coming across of late. So, whether or not the sensor guys want to bring that to the attention of the captain is entirely up to them. If they log it, just log it as a curiosity, that's fine. If you do bring it up to the captain insists that for the moment your mission is one of rescue of the team, the research teams on Ceti Alpha V, and therefore the floating object in space will have to take a back seat for the moment in time. So merely log your findings in the main computer and we will come back to it in due course. So, the Combs eventually comes into orbit of Ceti Alpha V. As the image suggests, there is already a kind of like a floating, not exactly a space dock. Sorry, you're not seeing anything?
That's just
black
darkness.
Just darkness, just black. Blackness.
Just a void.
Soul. When you do come into orbit, there is like a couple of small civilian vessels which are sending down small landing craft from orbit, but they are just, like I said, small civilian craft and don't have that much capacity. You, however, are a Starfleet vessel, a lot larger than their smaller craft. But this does enter the rather interesting point. The Combs has got a complement of one Type 6 shuttlecraft and the Gwicha, as well as 2 worker bees. So it seems there is a small amount of strange interference in the upper atmosphere, which will make transporting to the surface or beaming people up from the surface not deadly, just difficult. Which is more than likely why the civilian assistants are sending shuttles down to the planet's surface. But what are your thoughts? How do you want to comport this rescue mission? Do you want to send a shuttle down? Do you want to beam down? What would you like to do?
I don't think we should take the risk. I think we should shuttle down.
Yep. I'll vote shuttle.
We char down.
Well, this becomes the interesting point. Go on, Dave. No, you make the point.
I was going to say, it's probably taking the all like the worker bees, the Shutty the shuttle, and the Gwicha all down.
Well, the problem with sending the worker bees down
there.
The worker bees have no room for anything but the pilot, so the worker bees are just there to do like in-flight repairs, as it were, to the Combs. So the worker bees unfortunately do not make for adequate rescue vehicles at all. The Gwicha does suffer from the fact that it is a Klingon scout vessel and therefore does not have as much passenger space as a Type 6 shuttle. You can still squeeze people into it, don't get me wrong. But a Type 6 shuttle has more passenger space than the Gwicha otherwise would. But if you want to send both all your small craft down, then that's an option as well. Now, sorry, go on.
I was saying, so without worker bees, what is it? Just 2 shuttles we would be
just 2 smaller craft,
sending down? Yeah.
The Gwicha and Shutty the shuttle.
Yeah, I vote for sending both the ships down.
Okay. Alrighty then. I will elect to do that then. So, Captain Sobek says that... let me bring you back to the bridge, actually. Captain Sobek says that since an evacuation of ground staff is quite an undertaking, he will remain on the Combs in order to coordinate efforts going on up here, but definitely need to send somebody down to the planet in order to start coordinating with the teams down who are already there. Now, once you get into orbit, you will find that anybody who interrogates the Federation database on Ceti Alpha V will find that it's basically a giant desert, and therefore is very inhospitable to most life. It's mostly sandstorms down there, but the last log from the science teams down on the planet were that there has been a sudden increase in instability in the planet's crust, which means lots of earthquakes are currently going on, which is why they need evacuation. So you are going to need EVA suits if you are going down there, not just from the fact that the air is unbreathable, but from the fact that the sandstorms down there will flay the skin from your body if you stay out in it for too long. So whoever's going down to the surface will need to have protection. So now's a good time to decide on who's going, although I can guess.
Road trip.
Road trip. EVA suit.
So, go on.
Alright, Zippy, stay here and keep my seat warm.
Garrow.
Too bad I don't think there's an EVA suit.
No, there's not an EVA suit made for Zippy at the moment, I'm afraid.
Tavish is thinking if she should go down, seeing as she's just had major surgery.
True. But on the flip side, Dr. Hatar said that the Nihilil, the program, needs to get used to how Tavish prioritizes her thoughts. What stimulus equals what response. So an emergency situation like this, like an evacuation, might be a good learning experience for it, because it has to create those data nodes, or data bridges rather. So there's a column A, column B kind of stance you can take with it. Look, the emergency medical drone is coming.
Tavish goes, yeah, you know what, let's do this.
Okay.
We will be fine down there.
Let's pop a EVA suit.
Right, so grab your EVA suits. And this is one of those occasions where the anti-grav sled will come in useful. Because you do need to help, if you're going to be helping with them packing up their gear, they're going to need sleds and gurneys and whatnot to move equipment.
Or then.
What about an emergency transponder?
If you think that's what should go.
I'm gonna take the emergency transponder just in case it's an emergency situation.
Yep.
I don't know what.
I've got one pattern enhancer on me. Or someone else wants to get
the other two.
I was going to suggest to the captain that if while we're down there trying to get people off the planet,
let's finish that sentence.
Trying to get people off the planet. If they can safely try and cut through the interference, so we can safely transport.
Yep. So
that would also be a good. Yeah. So if they can do their job up here, we'll do our job down there.
Which will certainly cut down on the amount of people you need to transport back and forth. Mm-hmm. Your transporter chief, Mr. Zonvagor, the Awesome. That's his new title, by the way. Lieutenant Zonvagor will note that equipment and non-living matter is a lot easier and safer to transport up, even through the minor interference. So the transporters would probably be better utilized beaming up equipment. and you know, the flat pack structures, the prefabricated structures and stuff, whereas the shuttles and the Guicha could be used to ferry the people. So that's not a bad idea, actually. So Zonvagor agrees with your analysis there.
Who's taking the anti-grav sled?
Who's taking the anti-grav sled?
Can somebody add PVAC for me? I have to restart my computer.
Okay, no problem. I will do it now. Character equipment. Armor and protective.
I've also chucked an anti-grav sled for Hopkins.
Hopkins is going to have the anti-grav sled. Oh, there we go. I see it. So Gurkhau's got the what was it? The pattern enhancers. Yep. Because it comes as a set of 3. Who was taking the transponder?
I've got the transponder.
Cool. Right. So any other kit you want to take with you, basically? Nope. Alrighty. Go on. You had an Mark. There was an
Did you say we had to take 3 pattern enhancers, or it comes?
Well,
as
I assume that the pattern enhancers, as you get them from the equipment list, come as a set of 3, because a pattern enhancer doesn't work on its own. You need to have 3 so you can create a triangle.
Okay, so they come as a set, so we don't need to put 2 more in.
Technically, no. That's my assumption that I'm allowing. So.
I mean, we could always have more than one set, just in case.
Well, there's that.
If we like keep applying multiple sets of pattern enhancers, does it make it super strong?
Not
It's more enhancement.
really. It just makes more zones, more sets of triangles that can be used to get better pattern locks on people.
Can I take 1 set with my emergency transponder, or is that too much?
No.
I'll
You're going to be
I'll take
carrying
set
all
2.
this, bearing in mind, so you know. The emergency transponder, if
Yeah, we can put all this on the anti-grav sled for now.
you can put it on the anti-grav set. The emergency transponder is it a one-handed or a two-handed thing? I forget. What's known as a screamer. Small handheld devices, so you can easily hold a transponder, but you have to definitely carry the pattern enhancers, because they are big, kind of almost like javelin things that you got to stick in the ground. So
don't worry, I'm sure I can help these pattern enhancers get even better.
You've got 1 in your inventory at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just no. Yeah, I want the pattern enhancer. I'm talking about maybe doing a little field upgrade when we get down there. Was not
be afraid, folks.
That was not my idea.
I want to be surprised. I'm pretty sure if I remember my inventory correctly, I might have pattern enhancers. I can't remember.
You do? Yes, you do. Actually, no, you don't. No, you got the sled.
I know what I can do.
Enhancers finally?
You want some enhancers too? Okay, let's get on the pattern enhancer train. You get a pattern enhancer. You get a pattern enhancer.
Yeah.
How much can a drone carry?
Only the equivalent of a emergency medical kit. That's a good point, actually. Let me reference Dr. Sott here for what the drone essentially carries, because the way Flesk made it is, even though it's technically a hologram, it's got replicatable, it's a hard-light hologram, to reference Red Dwarf there. But it is able to a limited capacity, replicate medical equipment. Not the complex stuff, but the fairly simple stuff. Anything too complex would require more replicated gel than it's got. So what have we got? We got the medical tricorder, which will be built into its own sensor system, so we don't want that. Medical monitoring device is again built into its sensors, so we don't necessarily need that. we want things like bone regenerator, dermal regenerator, the emergency surgical kit is the closest we get to that. Hyperspray, of course, and neurocortical monitor. Yeah, that's just something you stick onto somebody's head. Anything else? Tri-laser connector. What's the tri-laser connector? Oh no, that was a big one. That was the healing nerve tissue stuff. Neural pads and neural calipers. Neural caliper actually would be a good one, so there we go. That'll do.
Matt?
Yes.
Can Tavi's going to bring up an idea, a request to the captain to see, ask the civilian ships who have been ferrying people, how bad the sandstorms and stuff are on their smaller ships.
Okay. So getting Ensign Ravalon to communicate with the civilian vessels just to check how they're doing. Conditions on the surface are pretty mean. The main landing area is in the midst of a strong sandstorm at the moment. It's not so strong that it will knock shuttlecraft off course, but it definitely is. It makes moving around and seeing very far difficult.
Are they having any problems with their shuttles at all due to the sandstorm?
Okay. They have to make repeated stops to clean out the filters of their shuttlecraft as they basically get filled up with sand when they go down. So that's actually going to be a consideration of your own craft too. Both Shetty and the Guicha are probably going to end up having sand in their intakes.
Can I try and sort out the filters so we're not having to, empty the filters out every time we get back up to the combs?
You can do, but being the chief engineer, you will note that the longer the exhaust intakes are closed, the greater the heat buildup will be. So it's going to be a case of as soon as you hit the lower atmosphere will be when you need to close the intake and exhaust vents in order to stop them getting as much in them. And then after you get past the lower atmosphere on your way back up again is when you can open the intakes up again. So it's going to be very much putting in place an activation-deactivation procedure for those flying up and down.
Is that all right to do?
It is all right, but it adds an extra administrative level to things, because now all pilots have to be briefed on when you reach so many, 1,000 meters so many 1,000 feet, close intake valves and don't open them again until you ascend above 10,000 feet, that kind of thing. It'll help immensely.
But it means less time to get people off the planet.
It will mean that ships will need to be closely monitored when they arrive back on ship in order to check for, heat damage from not having any exhaust or intake for a certain amount of time.
All right. Well, we can clean out the filters. I'm going to make sure that my engineering team are ready for the shuttles as soon as they come back. Clean out the air filters. As fast and as safely as possible.
Okay. Noted. Your engineering teams are going to be on the shuttle deck or the shuttle bay, I should rather say, with cleaning protocols in mind. It does mean that people are going to be cleaning sand out of in between the grates of the flooring of the shuttle bay for some time to come.
That's not my problem.
Hey, that's somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
Alright, any other last-minute preparations you want to make before you go down and start operations?
I think we're pretty kitted out.
Yeah, I would agree. The EMD is extremely enthusiastic about its first away mission. Of course, the EMD themselves does not need an EVA suit due to being a hologrammatic life form and therefore not affected by needing to worry about getting skin abrasions from sand, but nevertheless. The EMD starts fussing about whether or not sand will start scuffing the hollow emitter in the little hovering droid. Starts bombarding Commander Flesk with all these technical questions. You know, well, what happens if I cease functioning? What happens if I get my intake's clogged? What happens if my gravity impeller ceases? I won't be able to do anything down there.
Tavish will look at the little droid and just go, "Look, it will be fine. If anything goes wrong, we can fix you."
Well, don't look at the droid, look at me, says the EMD's projection. I'm right here. My eyes are by here, by the way.
Well, we can sort you out.
Well, just as long as you prioritize my, continued function, that way I can help more people down on the planet below.
Okay.
He's riding with you in the shuttle.
Okay. Both ships are going down to the planet. Now, I am assuming that the shuttle is the one to land on the actual shuttle platform. The Guichar is nearby, but because the Guichar is a slightly bigger ship, I'm going to just assume that it is slightly off camera as I thrust you guys to see what I can see when you do land. So the place becomes pretty much as, or the visibility of the place is pretty much as bad as you expect when you do get down to the planet and disembark in order to have a look at the situation as you find it. Of course, you have your EVA suits on, so besides the lashing sandstorm, when you guys finally arrive and take your first steps out onto the wind-blasted planet, you notice a couple of figures rushing about. All of them Starfleet for the most part. They are busy deconstructing temporary accommodations like tents and other temporary structures. The shuttle bay has got a couple of supply crates and containers stacked up ready to be either beamed or transported in some fashion physically or energetically elsewhere. And so eventually one figure, also in an EVA suit, starts striding towards you all as he notices you all kind of congregating around the shuttle. So can you all see all of this?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
So the guy kind of walks up to you, and even though you've got EVA suits on and have got communications between EVA suits, the howling of the wind makes you inclined to yell, even though you've got comms. Hello there! Are you from the Combs? We were expecting you a few minutes ago, so it's good to see you. I'm Lieutenant Saban. I'm the leader of the outpost here. Thank you so much for responding to our emergency hail. Situation is pretty much what you can see down here. We're fighting the storm, but so far things are going okay. We're packing things up as fast as we can, but the storm is making it a little difficult with our temporary accommodations. If you could lend a little bit of assistance to us, we might be able to get things done a little faster. How many shuttlecraft are you bringing? I'm assuming somebody tells
just
you.
Just the two.
Okay, well that'll have to do. It's better than nothing, I suppose.
We've brought equipment to help out with transporting equipment from here to our ship.
Excellent. Good news to hear. The sooner we're off this dust bowl, the better I'll feel. It's at this point that Tavish's AI pipes up.
Backwater is registering increased seismic activity.
Tavish, who then feels a need to consult her own tricorder, just to see what the AI is talking about, does indeed discover that there is a sudden increase building in seismic activity, and it's subtle at first, especially because most of you are standing on shifting sand, but soon the rumble under your feet starts to actually get feeling, and then there's this enormous rumble as everyone has to fight to maintain their balance. Some people fall over, but as they do, and the rumble eventually dies down, you all right yourselves and try and find your balance once again in the sand. But that's when you think you start hearing screams. And your tricorder start picking up life forms. Coming up from under the ground in many different directions. And they are, well, they're making a move on the science post people.
Alright, let's try and get everyone to evacuate whilst we take on the whatever those are.
Go on.
I was going to say 2 people on each shuttle, and then the rest of the science team down here on either shuttle, while we're down here defending. I think that's a good idea.
Well, can we load everyone we can on the shuttle?
Yeah.
And we'll evac on the breach.
So,
I don't think Shutty the shuttle will fit everybody on the science team in. That's why I suggested that, you know, both these shuttles head off with 2 pilots in them, so they can go up, drop the science team off, and then come back down. At least one shuttle come back down for us.
Okay.
And whoever it, or both shuttles come back down for us.
I mean,
And same on have Liz shove them all upstairs. Got it.
So, you can definitely hear this high-pitched, horrible squealing sound that seems to be coming from something entirely different from the science team people who are screaming. But nevertheless, we've got Tavish, Sot, Flesk, Garrow, Gurkow, and Hopkins in the initiative crew. Q. Have I missed anybody? The EMD is kind of paralysed at the moment with indecision as to what to do, so we're just going to go ahead and start combat. One of you can start. Who's going first? You've got sensor pings on where these life forms are, but from the distance you're at, you can't see them through the storms. You have to get closer.
Tavish, you want to take this?
Does Tavish want to go first?
What? Trying to find these life forms?
Up to you.
Yeah,
You've got them. You've all got them on the heads-up display of your EVA suits. So it depends on how you want to handle this.
Okay, I just heard a massive scream then. Yeah, let's see if whereabouts these life forms are, so I can upload them into everybody else's EVA suits.
Alright, so Tavish is going first. So you can reach pretty much anywhere on this map in one movement in your immediate vicinity. So that will take you a quick action to do. So move anywhere you want to, really.
Let's try and go for the middle at the moment.
This one come on in there?
Do you need me to move you? Sorry.
Yeah,
Kinda does, yeah.
I can't.
Are we going like?
No, back a bit. Yeah, no. I feel like there's gonna be good.
All right, so Tavish can't make out much as she goes forwards, but can see these dark, almost teardrop shapes, with the bulbous bit being the body end of whatever these creatures are. They seem to be made out of segmented plates, but the most horrifying aspect of them is that they've got these long mandibles that really opened really, really wide. And as Tavish is approaching, she sees two of these creatures just kind of erupt out from the ground and clamp these massive pincer-like mandibles around the legs. Bearing in mind, these people are all wearing EV suits, but these massive pincers kind of clamp in, seem to go through the EV suits. As soon as the two people get grabbed by the jaws of these things, they seem to go rigid and then kind of fall back stiff, as if paralyzed. You still have a slow action to make. So, what would you like to do with it?
I'm gonna scan for weaknesses.
Okay, give me a control and medicine check.
Would you mind doing that for me, Mark?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. There's no focuses
No.
there. Do you want to take a momentum?
Do you want to take a momentum? That's
No to momentum?
It's let's momentum. I mean, medicine's not exactly...
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, go with... Okay. 15 and 10, one success. Okay, from this distance, a tricord reading indicates that these creatures have got... That's weird. These creatures have got segmented bodies, but which suggests some kind of armor plating, but it's not actual armor. Their bodies are quite soft and pliable, actually. But there does seem to be a reading that suggests a kind of toxin or venom gland that they have in their jaws, which might be explaining why people are getting paralyzed by a bite.
Can I send that information to the rest of the crew?
Sure.
Or
No problem.
even if it's not me, making somebody else who is in my suit sending that information.
You don't need to make any roll for that kind of thing. That's just communicating data through, so that's fine. So, unless you're seizing the initiative from me...
What's my AI called again?
Nylil.
Nylil. Nylil would have sent that information to the rest of the crew.
Do we want Hopkins or Garrow to seize initiative to aim and shoot?
Transmitting data.
Because we've got a full pool, and there's a few of them.
Yes, indeed.
And if we can move anywhere, that means they could probably aim and shoot. Now they know where they are, and they're not armored.
Indeed you do. So does someone want to spend 2 momentum in order to take the initiative? Seize the initiative.
My vote would be to spend momentum to shoot them. In fact, I'd be up for both Hopkins and Garrow seizing momentum to shoot them.
Up to you guys.
Hopkins doesn't do the whole shoot. She does the whole I slice them.
Well,
Either way.
Slice and dice.
Does Hopkins want to make it a fair fight and take the 3 to the south?
This sounds to me like Hopkins is seizing the initiative and is heading off to batleth some beasties.
A fair fight would probably be about 6 or 7 of them. To one Hopkins.
Go on then, Liz, which one are you taking on? The nearest one, the middle one, the further one?
I'm gonna...
Oh, that cut out for me. Cut out for anyone else?
Yeah, that cuts out for me as well.
Liz, you still with us?
Yeah, my computer's just having a bit of a...
Okay, that's fine. Yep, you moved, that's fine. You attack. Now, I assumed weapons were drawn the moment that screaming started to sound, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If this is going to be a physical attack, it's going to be daring and security. Now, the one you're attacking is currently clamped around a science stone. Therefore, he's not going to fight back, so this is going to be an easy hit. Assuming you don't get a complication and end up accidentally chopping this guy's leg off. So you do.
Let's see. Focused. I'm gonna use a determination.
Not bad. 4 successes. Well over and above what you needed, getting that momentum back. So yeah, you can add 3 to damage if you want. Which is more like 2 to
Might
damage.
as well.
Baboosh! Not awesome, but still does. Using the batleth, so that's vicious. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the extra 2 for nothing. Okay. 5 nets you. A ragged cut across the back of this creature, which is enough to make it let go of the member of the science team, and it then kind of wheels around and opens its massive jaws and just hisses. You notice it's got 2 very beady little eyes at the front, but the mandibles make up the majority of this creature's face. As it moves, its back plates kind of ripple along, suggesting that they used almost like they don't have legs of any kind. They kind of use these furrowed plates of theirs as a means of moving through the sand.
Because you earned the momentum back, do you want to just do it again? Because it would be the same point.
Hopkins has had her turn, it's now somebody else. If you want somebody else to take their turn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah. Garrow?
Garrow can go next if you want to.
Yep.
On the ship. Like, get the sign.
So I'm going to move up here.
Move to about there, okay.
Right, do I choose the same one that you've been attacking, or should I go for a different one?
That's your call. As Hopkins yells out across the comms, anyone not from the cones, get on the shuttle. Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna try and go for this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So just in case it decides to do some movement. No pun intended.
Fair enough.
Right, I'll take aim and. Right,
What you can do then, if you want. Oh no, you've moved already. Never mind.
Yeah.
Just control and security then, please. Difficulty.
So as it's not really that well armored, I'm not going to worry about the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Focus. Yeah.
Are you using the Type 2 phaser or the Type 3?
Might use the Type 3, I think, on this one.
Alright, the rifle.
Mm.
Go for it.
So, there we go. You guys with focus.
Yep. That is 2 successes exactly. Roll damage.
Okay.
10 successes, 2 are effects, accurate and charge, so 10 successes, that one gets vaporized. Spoosh. That one just disappears in a puff of red. So that was Garrow action. Alright, Garrow moved, Garrow shot, Garrow succeeded.
That's fine.
That's yours. So let's see who's next. Alright then. This eel burrows out of, scampers along the ground and starts going for the EMD. At which point the EMD is backing away going, "Oh God, it's horrible, get it away from me!" But then of course it tries to latch onto him and go for him, and it claps onto his hologram and goes through. And it seems to be having trouble discerning why that is. So it's continuously trying to latch onto him with its jaws, but just can't. Is it bad you want to keep one of these? Not if you're Khan Nooney and Singh, but in this case. Who's next out of you lot?
I can go next.
Yeah, cow. Okay. So there's one worryingly close by. There's another one attached to this lady over here. There's others down south, as they say. Your choice.
I'll go for the one who just attempted to go for the drone.
Okay.
I also want to capture it rather than destroy it.
So stun.
So, exactly. But lefty and righty are gonna sort that out.
You're gonna pummel one of these creatures into submission.
Yeah.
Interesting. Alrighty. Move up next to it, and you can make a daring and security check. It gets to do the same. Okay, 1 from me, 2 from you, which means you get 1 over and above what is needed, so you can either add that back to the momentum pool, or you can add it with damage.
If you don't mind, everyone, I'm going to add it to damage.
Go for it.
Sounds fair.
Yeah,
right,
go
no
for it.
objections.
Okay.
Right, do it. Roll unarmed. Then roll the next. Ooh, that's a good one. 5 with knockdown and non-lethal, and an extra 1 for 6. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so pummeling on this thing, giving it a kick, giving it a smack, you find the same thing that Hopkins did, is that these segmented plates that run all the way down its body are actually very pliable, and there's what seems to be a lot of soft tissue in between. So smacking these things with the fists, even though they get gloves and your EVA suit, these things aren't as armoured as they look. And so, yeah, but the segmented plates do seem to absorb a good amount of impact too, so it's not immediately dead from you smacking it. It's still conscious and survived as such. One of them goes next. This one is busy on this one, and so starts crawling up this lady's leg until it gets all the way up into her faceplate of her EVA suit and puts its mandibles very firmly in, and the points of its mandibles start trying to pierce the faceplate of the EVA suit. You can see cracks starting to spider web out from the point that the very hooks at the end of the mandibles are attached to the suit. Who of you is going next now? We've got Flask or Dr. Sot remaining.
I don't mind taking a shot at that one.
Ready? Flask, you're up.
I want to try and save her, so I'm going to use the quick action to aim.
Right, so that means you get to re-roll one of your dice if you don't like the result. Who are you going for?
Value of desperate. I'm going to go for this one on the lady.
Cool.
I'm going to use a determination. Desperation breeds inspiration because. Yep, no, not another one.
Yes.
And that's daring and security.
Control and security, yes, please. Two
security
difficulty.
Using a determination. Take it off. Use a determination. Let's go.
11 and a 16. If you hadn't have used determination, you would have missed, but because Flesk was determined,
re-roll one of those?
So that was on the bean, so you just get to roll damage as normal.
Oh, so I don't re-roll the one of the 11.
Actually, that's a good point. You can re-roll the 16 because you took an aim, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's try that again.
See if you can earn. Not much better, sadly, but as a result of careful aim, you did hit, so you do get to roll damage.
Is that where did you roll damage from? Oh, from the weapon type.
Weapon itself, yeah. When you hover over its symbol, it should give you the roll. There we are. Nice. Oh, that wasn't very good. You can spend a momentum to re-roll any or all of those.
Is everyone okay if I did that?
Wait a minute. No, you rolled twice. We'll take the top result. That's better. That's 5 successes, 2 effects. I didn't
I pressed it twice. Sorry.
That's fine. We'll eliminate the one that didn't do bugger all. And
sorry about that. I didn't. I double-clicked it.
I can delete it. No one ever saw it. It's fine. Let's forget the fact that this is being streamed and is therefore saved on the internet for posterity. No, it's fine. We'll go with the top result because that was the first one. 5 successes, 2 effects means that was a very thorough hit. It does seem to dissuade the creature from burrowing in any further, as it seems to now be searching for whoever hurt it. Speaking of more creatures, let's see who's closest. Burrow, 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 burrow. Rah! Can I get Gurkow to give me a daring and security, please?
Oh my.
As another one erupts from the sand.
Legion of Honor!
Oh, you were very quick with that. And I got 1 success too, so Gurkow manages to knock the thing away before it manages to latch on, so no one succeeds either way there. Dr. Sot remains. What's Dr. Sot doing?
Yep. I think I'd like to give Gurko a hand. I guess I'll target this one, the seal here.
Like with Flesk, you can use a quick action to aim, which means that you can re-roll one of your to hit dice.
Yeah, okay.
Totties.
I'm pretty rooted. I'm pretty close by, so let's take a shot from here and aim.
Control and security, difficulty 2. That's not bad, that's not bad at all. 2 successes on the dot. Which means that, yeah, I wouldn't re-roll either of those. That's a good roll. Damage!
One phaser.
Attack 1. 3. Which was exactly what you need to incapacitate the creature.
Oh.
Was that a stun session, or did he just vaporize it? The one she was trying to subdue.
That's up to Sot.
Stun.
Stun. Okay, so defeated, not dead. Speaking of the creatures, who's next? One of these guys. Yep, Scamper. I'll try my luck on that one. She is unable to fight back, so that one is also going to try crawling at the faceplate. And that leaves one other creature to go. It's this one up near Hopkins. Hopkins, please give me a daring and security check. As the creature rounds on Hopkins. 3 successes for you, 1 success for me, which means you got 2 over and above what was needed. As before, they can be added to the momentum pool or added to damage, whichever you want to do. Taking that as... Oh, that was a hell of a hit. Anyway, you may as well, in that case, since that basically parts the eel from its, well, life, you may as well add the 2 back to momentum. Yes, slice it into bits.
And tell this one to run.
Yep, he is very keen to run. So, for the moment, let me see. Let's have everyone is piling into the shuttle. So there's 3 people. Those people are going to be avoiding the battle, so they are going to move over to... This one are going to peg it for the shuttle as well. That one's incapacitated. That one is running for the shuttle. She moves this way. And that one too. Alright. Back around we go. Round 2. Who's starting? Whom of you is starting things off on round 2? Hopkins or Garrow or anybody?
We should probably save that science officer, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Who's saving the
But not
science
me.
officer?
I'm trying to move now.
Actually, we're probably about the same sort of distance.
Oh, no, Hopkins is going. Okay. Alright, usual thing.
Peter's being slow right now.
Okay, no problem. It's a 5 and an 11 from me, so that's 1 success from the creature versus daring and security from Hopkins.
Who lost this?
These are being
No.
slow, so it's just taking a while for things to process. Plus, it's making us all wait with bated breath to see what's going to happen next. Will she hit? Will she do enough damage to incapacitate the creature?
Can somebody roll damage for me because my computer's being way too dang slow.
Alrighty. It was Batleth, wasn't it? Papoosh! Good lord.
Splat.
Actually, I didn't roll to hit yet. Whoops. Let's not assume. Well, I am going to assume. Let's just see. 14 and 9 was 2 successes over the creature's 1, so yeah. You sliced and diced it. So that stops that one. But there is another one.
I'd say Garrow take the seize the initiative.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to. First of all, I'm going to use my. Can I hit him from there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take my one. Can I take an action to recalibrate my laser? But
Yep. You can change
Might as
your
well.
phase as a quick action. Change the settings.
Change it to vicious.
Vicious. Ooh, alrighty. Garrow's taking no prisoners. That's
my name.
control
Oh,
and
yeah.
security.
Yeah, so pretty much the same as last time.
Ooh, that was a 20, but rolled back onto an 8, but the other one was a 20 as well.
Okay, what's my...
Do you have Legion of Honor?
I've got a Legion of Honor.
It's got 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna use one of my Legion of Honor.
Noted. So it's still only 1 success for you. So sadly, from the distance, you're at the sandstorm foils Garrow's aim a bit.
Okay.
He also doesn't want to hit the science officer, so he's a bit more careful with it. But does cause an explosion of sand to go off near where the creature is, so it distracts it for a moment. Speaking of, the one next to Gurkow goes next. So Gurkow, once again, daring and security, please. Two successes, 0 successes, so there you go. 2 over and above what you needed. Pool or damage, whichever you want to do it.
Damage.
Damage. Go for it. Oh, that's good. 3 and the extra 2. 4, 5. Nice. So that's 4 damage. Sorry. 5 damage, 4 effects. Nice. So you're gonna punt the thing back into the storage containers to give yourself a bit of breathing room. Who wants to go next? Does Gurkow want to go next to finish this creature off?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish the job.
Cool. Go for it.
Can I take an action to equip my Theo ball bat?
Ooh. Gonna turn this thing into putty or gonna knock it into the next area? Yep, sure. Quick action can equip your steel ball bat.
I mean, we've already got one stunned, so I can
Yes,
take
you
that
do.
one home.
You've got sample.
But this one. Okay, is that daring and security?
That's
again?
daring and security again, yes.
No, okay, let's just watch this one fail. I'll be typical.
Well, I got a 19, so you never know. You say fail, you got a 1. No, you got a 9, okay. 2 versus 1, there you go. So Gurkow just rears back with the thing and comes in for a running hit. You got 1 over, so you can add 1 to damage. Or back to
I'll
the
add that to the momentum ball.
Okay, no problem. I've got the momentum pool, you've got the damage. 4 successes. You know what, with that extra effect, and the steel ball bat, whack. You like punt the thing way, way far away. In fact, it's lost into the sand. Just don't see where it ends up, it's just smashed.
Excellent.
Speaking of smashed, the one remaining creature on this lady's visor is now distracted by the fact that Hopkins is there, and so is going to leap down from this lady's stiff, still body and is going to have a go at Hopkins with daring and security, and Hopkins can give me the same, please. A 20!
Legion of Honor.
Legion of Honor.
Plus.
So,
I don't need a reroll.
No, you don't need to reroll because you got 2 successes. I got none, so yeah, usual options.
Let's see.
Three successes.
And
now you
then-
can spend one of those 2 extra momentum you generated to re-roll any number of those dice. or you can spend them both on extra damage. But it looks like you put one back into momentum, so that one extra that you got, you can spend on re-rolling the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice that didn't give you anything.
Reroll all 5 dice? Yes, please.
Go for it. Do it. Which is our first, I think, cross-franchise reference. No, my first cross-franchise reference was Hard Light Holograms. Ooh, that's much better.
Ooh.
Look at that. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10 with 4 effects. Good lord. The thing makes a concerted leap for Hopkins's knee, at which point she just brings the bat'leth dramatically around her head and in a big sweep and cuts the thing neatly in two as it leaps at her. And that finishes that. So things calm
Is that
down a
it?
bit.
Shall we get those plan enhancers set up for the equipment?
Yes. While Hopkins pick up the science officer and carries her to the shuttle.
No problem. That's why we'll move her towards the shuttle. Yes.
Yeah, get the pattern enhancers done.
So it's easy to start.
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm gonna. Is it all right if I set up something to do with like the seismic activity here?
Yeah, I mean your tricorder already picks up that kind of thing, so you just set it up to alert to give you an audio alert whenever it detects more.
Well, I Tavish has already got an audio alert apparently in her head that it's going to happen.
Yeah,
but
and that was kind of weird now that Tavish stops to think about it, because how did her brain implant know that the tricorder was detecting seismic activity before she did? Interesting.
Okay. I'm going to set up everybody's tricorders just to pick up on it,
Okay.
make it a little bit more sensitive.
No problem.
Because if we have another earthquake, we could be dealing with those creases again, or something bigger.
Okay, no problem. So everybody gets their tricorders linked. So Lieutenant Saban comes forward at this point as well, whilst you guys are busy getting yourselves sorted.
Oh, man. Those things? Native life form. The only native life form remains. We haven't come across them much until recently. We think that the earth tremors have been disturbing them somehow or bringing them up. We haven't tended to have much problems with them, but recently with all the seismic activity we've been encountering them more and more. Commander, I hate to put any more on your plate, but whilst all that was going on, I was trying to recall all of our science teams, all of our external exploration teams back here to camp. We've got most of them here, but I'm reading one group yet to be accounted for. We had an expeditionary crew last seen out heading towards the north, claiming that they picked up anomalous power readings from somewhere further off. Earlier into our expedition to see if this place was able to be turned into a habitable planet with atmosphere reprocessors, we started discovering underground chambers and what appears to be ruins of some kind of ancient civilization here on the planet that was previously undocumented. So, naturally, we sent out teams to look for more of these places. But ever since the tremors began, we've been getting a good deal of interference, and the further away from camp people go, the heavier the interference. And our northern team still hasn't responded. I wonder if they've gotten lost in the storm or something. If it's okay with you, can I ask you please to go on a search for our missing team while I start getting people using these pattern enhancers of yours beamed onto the ships above before another attack like this happens?
Are we going to walk there, or are we going to take one of the ships to get there?
Well, you do have a shuttle and or a Gleecher.
Do we really need this, the equipment?
Well, that's up to you.
Well, we might as well take a ship.
That's what we've got. Take the ship, but let's set up the pattern enhancers.
Yeah, let's get them, all of them out. We'll leave them to get pattern enhancers and the shuttle, and we'll take the Creature on the rescue mission.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking, shove all of them onto the shuttles, send them up, and then go rescue the people, and not really worry too much about the equipment.
Okay. But overall, there seems to be a press for getting everybody off here quickly.
Yeah.
How many people are on Shetty versus the Gleecher? Well, like I said, the Gleecher can't fit that many, and so now that you're using it to investigate this missing crew, you've probably got just about enough. The crew, according to Lieutenant Saban, the team you're looking for was about 4 people in total. So you've got enough room on the Gleecher for finding these people. Most of the people here that are currently here, I mean, there are more people than I've actually given you visual representation for, who are slowly being either transported off on the civilian shuttles, and now are piling into your own. If you're telling them to leave equipment behind, then that's fine. They're prioritizing jamming themselves onto the shuttle now. As a result.
I mean, the main thing is the creature can only theoretically hold 3 to 5 people.
So it's going to be a squeeze, but you can do it.
I mean, if there's like data we can download for the equipment, then we can just put that onto our.
Yeah, I mean, Hopkins could go get the people, try to find the 4 people in the Greeja, and the rest of you, make sure these people get the heck off this planet.
While ordinarily, I would say that sounds fine. I will note quite heavily here that, well, the obvious thing here is that players will probably want to go with you. So, with all due respect, Commander, we're coming with you. At least I hope that's what you say. Otherwise, it's a case of no, we're fine. We're going by. Those things were awful.
We're coming.
Sounds like Gurkau definitely wants to come along. You do have a
sample
to investigate.
I don't think coming along. Bless wants to come. He wants to save people.
We know it's never going to be as simple as we think.
Do you want to leave the emergency medical drone with these people?
Yes. Actually, I don't know.
Or do you want to take it with you?
Probably take it with us, because these 4 people are, could be in trouble. And I know we've got a Dr. Sot, but having an extra pair of medical hands is always an upside, isn't it?
And it wasn't a distraction for one of the attacks.
I mean, if Dr. Scott falls down, trips and hurts his wrist, then we have someone to heal the healer.
Yeah, there's maybe ladders ahead.
We don't talk about the ladder. We don't talk about the ladder ever again.
Like, if you guys are all wanting to go, I would suggest you guys take the shuttle, while Hopkins uses the Greecha to quickly, punches it as fast as possible to get these people off. Because I don't think, like physically, I don't even think we could shove this many people on a creature with our crew.
How about the opposite way? You take just yourselves on the Gweecha and you leave the shuttle to literally shuttle the people off the planet.
Well, I'm talking about for the rescue crew, because I don't think we can shove the 4 people plus us on the Gweecha.
It'll be a squeeze, but you know, as long as they just sit on the floor or something.
That's what the boot's for.
That's what the trunk of the car's for.
Yeah.
Up the bodies in the trunk.
Yeah.
But it's up to you if you think that's the way you want to go.
I've got no problem with Tavish staying behind just to make up some room to help these people out.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think like really.
And you know, getting these people off planet safely. And setting up these pattern enhancers as well.
Okay. Is that the final word then? Tavish is going to be shuttling people off whilst the rest of you go in the Gweecha to find this other group?
Yep. I mean, how good are you at con again, Tavish?
I've gone from being really good to being really bad. So it doesn't really.
The rating is just how good you are at performing complex maneuvers. I mean, all this is going to be doing is taking off, going up, stopping, letting people off, coming back. So we're not talking complicated landing or taking off procedures here. Anybody could do it, including you could just pre-program it into the nav computer of the shuttle and no one has to technically fly it. Hell, even the people who are being evacuated could probably fly it themselves. So, you know. The score of 1 in con does not mean that you are awful at driving. It just means that you are less good at performing complex maneuvers than somebody who is a lot more trained in con.
I've just calmed down from my from yes. You know when we first started the series.
Definitely.
No more pedal to the metal. It's like it's take it easy.
Okay. Is that the final word then? Everyone is everyone going then on the Gweecha to rescue this team? Mm-hmm. Nobody staying behind? Let's go.
Well, Frosky's coming along, so yeah.
Alrighty. So, yep, Lieutenant Span coordinates and also goes on the shuttle to try and make sure that folks are evacuated as quick as possible. Actually, he stays behind to coordinate with those who are going to be going up using the pattern enhancers that you've stepped down. Meanwhile, he gives you the last known position of the northern team. There are, like, beacons set up at different points that the science teams and exploration teams have used to mark routes that they take to different places. So there are beacons that you can follow up to a certain point. So, as you lift off in the Gweecha and start heading off in the last known direction of this missing team, you start following, because visibility is awful. Luckily, there aren't that many mountains or tall hills that could possibly be any kind of, you know, all of a sudden something looms out of the sandstorm and you crash. Luckily, you've got sensors for that kind of thing when something does loom out quite high. So you're able to follow the beacons left behind. And at one point, as you start flying over these beacons, one particularly strong beacon does come up, and you notice it's next to an old, seemingly abandoned structure. Sensors indicate that this structure is about 150, I think that's right, 105, pardon me, 105 or more years old, and seems to be some kind of old set of cargo containers that have been kind of rudely set up to look like there's some kind of shelter. It depends on whether or not you want to investigate this, or if you want to just keep on flying by and just take sensor scans of it.
It's old structure, so old containers, but has it been recently moved into a structure?
The amount of wear on it, according to the sensors, indicates that it's been there, as does the pile up of sand around it, indicate that it has been there in situ for about 105 years. But it's made out of synthetic material, so it's definitely not. Yeah, it's definitely not something that was. It's definitely something that was fabricated, but not necessarily for the purpose for which it was being used. So it seems like somebody made some kind of a hasty accommodation out of cargo containers, and what looks to be maybe a ship.
Life forms or anything on there, are we?
No. But you are detecting a space underneath it. What seems to be in the middle of the this interior space that's got inside these cargo haulers that has been turned into some kind of like temporary accommodation, or maybe it wasn't that temporary from the amount of time that's gone on. Sensors are reading a massive hole in the middle of one of the floors that seems to then go down into some kind of tunnel system.
Okay. Well, my instinct would be to prioritize looking for the missing people.
Yeah.
But
So this
That
is
would be a delightful bonus, though.
unless they went down there,
but
we can detect as a whole, but we don't know where they are.
yes. But as you do keep on flying over, and you have one last look at the sensor readings, a recognition ping comes up from the historical database and marks it as the wreckage of the Botany Bay. Something you can look into at a later point, perhaps. Nevertheless, eventually,
come back to it.
eventually the beacons stop, and you are forced to, well, basically stop, because now it's no longer definitely clear where the missing were, but you've gone about as far as the beacons allow, and the storm is getting intense enough that the Guicha is being battered and bumped. If you are to continue trying to find the other team, you're probably going to have to land the Guicha and search for them on foot. So, setting the Guicha down, but putting out sensors to maximum, the Guicha's sensors indicate that there is a weathered and eroded mountain range nearby, but there seems to be a cave opening at the base of it. Whether or not that was where the Northern Expeditionary Team went, you'll have to find out next week, especially because as soon as sensors indicate that there is indeed a cave that seems to lead down into another series of tunnels, your life form readings ping as you suddenly detect that there are multiple small life forms outside of the Guicha. That is where we're going to leave it for today. Let's turn off the storm. Yes, well, that's it for today, folks. But we will be continuing the rest of this episode next week, I hope. So the first thing we have to do is check that everybody is available. The 21st of April is next week, so is everybody around for that?
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah, I should be. Hopefully my
Mashing.
computer's not so.
Yes, let's hope you have better luck computer-wise next time. You know, Dave is like, computer problems? I wish. Nevertheless, yes, this saga continues, and I hope everybody who has any knowledge of Star Trek as a whole has picked up on what planet we're on and what creatures we just faced.
Yep.
Excellent. And of course,
I'm having a mind blank.
Botany Bay? Botany
Yeah,
Bay?
I'm having a mind.
Oh no! Well, guys, if you don't know where it's from, then I urge you to basically sing along with me. Come! So yes, something of a special episode for you for our 15th episode and for our final episode of Season 1, so yay! In any case, yes, this is the... we'll have to continue the remainder of this episode next week, and so we'll have to wait to see what it is we find. Do we find the missing expeditionary crew? I'm sure we will, but in what state? We'll have to find out. In the meantime, thank you for everybody who tuned in for the stream. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we apparently did playing it. For those who have tuned in on YouTube, please, if you like this, consider giving us a like and also knocking the subscribe button so you can tell when we send up another video, because, you know, we do these sessions when we can manage it, when people can manage it, so not always on time. Anyway, in which case, thanks from myself and the rest of the Combs crew here. We will hopefully see you and hear from you next week. But in the meantime, I ask you once again to do as the Vulcans do and live long and prosper. Maybe not send an away team down into a sandblasted planet full of horrible little eel things that paralyze you and may lay eggs in your brain. Stay clear of those things.
I don't want these things to lay eggs in my brain.
Well, that's good.
My
I'd be
brain's
rather
full.
concerned if you did.
My brain's full. It already has an AI in there.
Well, quite.
Sorry.
But aside from that, we do ask
do like this
that
one.
you do engage in infinite variety and infinite combinations. Your world has just become a crazy and nuttier place, so let's concentrate on the things that give us hope for the future, eh? Like Star Trek. So, thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Look after yourselves, look after each other, because blimey, the state of the world at the moment. We will see you all next time. Hailing frequencies are now closed.